I'm not usually the first one to buy a new piece of gear. I've pre-ordered something maybe twice in my life. But when I heard about the Aputure Fresnel 2X, I thought, this is the kind of design mistake I can get into. The Aputure Fresnel 2X is designed to fit on any Bowen's mount light, and it increases the output anywhere from 2 to 14 times its maximum. It's a Fresnel, which means it's focusable from 40 degrees, 12 degrees, according to the literature at least. It's a design mistake in my opinion because it essentially turns any cheap 60 to 100 watt light into a monster, able to compete with the likes of a $1,000 Aputure 300D. Of course, I was wrong, and that's a big problem. So the Aputure implies that this will work with any Bowen's mount light, and to be blunt, it doesn't. I don't have the Aputure 120D, the light it was specifically designed for, so I don't know if the construction differs. But in my tests with two cheap LED lights, the ZUMA LED60 and the RPS Studio 100 watt light, the unit just doubled the light, increasing by 1 full stop. Now that's not bad, and it's within Aputure's claims, but that wasn't the only disappointment. At the RPS Studio, it failed to act as a Fresnel. The beam didn't widen or narrow, it stayed at what I suspect is about 12 degrees. And on the ZUMA, it did open up some, but not to a full 40 degrees, and that light had another problem. You could make out the bicolored LEDs when the Fresnel was zoomed in, and it's really ugly. Now you may think that it does double the light, so it's worth it. But the 12-degree angle is a problem. You can't really shoot it into a scrim or a bounce card because the beam is too small at 3 to 5 feet away. To fill up the card, you have to back the light even further away, thus reducing the amount of light that reaches your subject. This takes away the one stop of light that you gained, and you need to be filming in a pretty big space at this point as well. I suspect that the narrow beam will even have problems inside a softbox when it's used with a third-party light like the ZUMA or the RPS. It's a pretty big attachment, so it's not something that I want to carry around if it wasn't really useful. So at this point, I'd love to see some real-world reviews of the light on the Aputure 120D to understand whether these limitations are just for other brands or if it doesn't fully perform up to spec, even on Aputure. I'm sad to report these findings because I'm a big fan of Aputure. They make quality goods, and this is a solid unit at a decent price. But the Fresnel 2X isn't something that you can use on non-Aputure products consistently, and that's extremely limiting. If you've had success with the Aputure Fresnel 2X on a third-party light, leave a comment down below.